What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of SmackDown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including AEW erasing MJF, an AEW star denied his release, did Roman Reigns insult The Rock, Roman Reigns shoots on CM Punk, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania Shorts. But as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, Naomi vs Io Sky delivers. Is Naomi back in WWE to put talent over? Well, so far, that's been Naomi's role for the most part. Nonetheless, she's also put some excellent matches, and last night's bout against Io Sky was yet another banger from the Glow. Number 2, Bianca Naomi storyline developing well. Last night's segment between Bianca Belair and Naomi told a story of Belair having an open mind about things and considering Naomi's defense of her decision to help Bayley last week. Having Belair run in to help Naomi against Damage Control made sense because while Belair hasn't forgiven Bayley for making her life miserable, Naomi isn't to blame. Belair may be turning heel, but it's smart to book the change gradually. Number 3, is Dominic vs Rey happening? While it seems like a last minute booking, the WWE appears to be setting up the long-awaited Dominic Mysterio vs Papa Ray rematch from WrestleMania 39. If so, fans could see the rumored hair versus mask match that's been thrown around ever since Ray defeated Dirty Dom last year. However, will the match take place at WrestleMania or Saudi Arabia? Number 4, Street Profits get the win. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins finally landed a win against the Final Testament. While this storyline is still crawling at a snail's pace, the Street Profits needed the win to put some life back into this feud, which so far seems to be all about run-ins. And Cody isn't an idiot. Did Seth Rollins and Jey Uso show up on their own, or was Cody crafty enough to ask them to lie in wait, just in case Paul Heyman didn't keep his word that it would just be Roman and Cody during the promo? Either way, this was a clever development in Cody's growth, as he's learned from the past missteps against the Bloodline, as have his allies. But that was a good what about the bad is number 1, Roman Cody promo falls short. Last night's promo fell short, a reminder that while Roman has improved on the microphone since turning heel, his promos aren't his strong suit, especially in extended dialogues. Cody's promo wasn't much better, and he started to fall into the type of old school babyface promos where he's too humble for his own good and in danger of the fans turning on him. Rhodes needs to show more fire, a simple fix as he's still the most charismatic babyface on the roster. This much anticipated meeting ended with a whimper too, as there was no physicality between the heels and the babyfaces as the show went off the air. Number 2, The Rock's absence was felt. The Rock's absence was felt last night as SmackDown had nothing special to make it stand out. The WWE had the opportunity with the Roman Cody promo, but as mentioned, this fell short. Regrettably, the WWE has been focusing too much on The Rock's storyline and putting most of the Blue Brand's other storylines on the back burner. Consequently, the WWE doesn't seem to know what to do when The Rock isn't on. Number 3, the show felt very by the numbers. A SmackDown was as basic a show as you could get, as the WWE had all the right pieces in place on paper. There was the usual array of strong matches, segments designed to forward storylines, and a confrontation between Cody and Roman. However, the execution was weak, as if Triple H didn't want to take any risks with WrestleMania just 2 weeks away. The resulting show wasn't ugly, but it wasn't pretty either. Last night's SmackDown didn't seem any different than other shows other than the name WrestleMania being dropped, and sluggish storylines. Last night's SmackDown was a reminder that Triple H still hasn't figured out the finer points of pacing an entire show. For example, the Street Profits vs the Final Testament has been going on so long and yet nothing of note has even happened. Likewise, Dominic Mysterio's appearance during Papa Ray's match against Santos Escobar came out of right field. Are they using Dirty Dom's interference to set up a Ray vs Dominic WrestleMania match? If so, what about Ray's feud with Santos Escobar? There is a possibility of a tag, but contrast this with Raw, which has done a remarkable job building its undercard, especially its women, and hyping WrestleMania. Now, there was nothing downright ugly, but a bit of a disappointing show. WrestleMania is just 2 weeks away, and the WWE should be slugging home runs, if not grand slams, in the build-up to its flagship show. Instead, last night's Blue Brand felt far too average. What do you guys think of SmackDown this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at AEW removing MJF. At top of today's news is Maxwell Jacob Friedman's status with AEW and concerns the promotion's top star may be leaving the company. MJF hasn't been seen since dropping the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to Samoa Joe at World's End, and while it's believed he needed time off to deal with a shoulder injury, AEW has made some moves that have some fans wondering whether he's actually coming back. First, AEW removed him from its official roster in 2024, now they've reportedly removed MJF's merchandise from its online store. Does this mean that he's leaving AEW? While his contract was reportedly set to end in early 2024, rumor has it that he signed a new deal with AEW last year. Obviously, there's confusion over MJF's future in AEW. Regardless of where MJF ends up working, his recovery time could be a lot longer than expected. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp discussed things during a recent online Q&A and noted, "Still healing up. I know some things were progressing slower than what they anticipated, but he was always planned for some time off anyway from what I understood. I don't know if that was once the injury started to happen, but it had become clear by a month out of the pay-per-view, World's End, that he was going to have a pretty extended amount of time out. If MJF does need shoulder surgery, it's unlikely he'll be back soon. As anyone who's had the surgery can attest, the recovery period is long and it's often painful." But as to why MJF has disappeared from AEW, it's possible his AEW deal is ending, but it's also possible AEW doesn't want to promote him if it knows he can't wrestle for some time. It may be even willing to scrap selling his merch to keep fans guessing about his status. It's also worth noting that MJF, who protects kayfabe like he's working in the 70s, is reportedly keeping his physical status a big secret. Next up, an AEW star denied his release. If you're wondering why AEW hasn't used Jack Perry since last summer's All-In pay-per-view, you've likely heard how Perry got into trouble for pushing CM Punk's buttons during the event when he made his infamous "This is Real Glass" Crimea River promo during his match, and an apparent shot at CM Punk, who lectured Perry for working a dangerous style. This remark reportedly led to Punk hauling off on Perry and AEW releasing Punk. But now Meltzer is reporting, regarding Jack Perry, who's now been gone for 7 months since the incident with CM Punk at Wembley Stadium and people think he's been fired, he's still under contract and obviously is working only for New Japan. Meltzer reported, "Tony Khan has never answered any questions regarding Perry. The way we've heard it was that he was sent home after Wembley and never heard back from Khan. He apologized, kept texting him about he never meant to cause any trouble and was sorry. He did hear from the company through lawyers. Then he talked and apologized to Khan, but he still hasn't been brought back. What are they doing now in Japan is a storyline to lead to an eventual return." However, a recent report from Figure 4 Online's Brian Alvarez cast doubt on the reports of Perry apologizing. According to Perry, he didn't hear from AEW head Tony Khan for 2 months following All In at London's Wembley Stadium. Perry said he never texted to say he was sorry and told Khan's lawyers he would not initiate first contact. Khan finally set up an in-person meeting before Full Gear in Los Angeles where they discussed plans to bring him back last December. However, those plans hit a snag when a certain straight-edge superstar returned to WWE, as Alvarez mentioned. However, after Punk returned to WWE at Survivor Series, those plans were scrapped. At this point, Perry is still under AEW contract. He asked for a release but was denied, but there are still plans to bring him back. He hasn't talked to Khan in months, nor cleared anything he has done in storyline for New Japan Pro Wrestling, like him tearing up the AEW contract or his use of the term scapegoat. At this point, it's difficult to tell whether Tony Khan is trying to work the fans or whether there's genuine heat on Perry. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, did Roman Reigns insult The Rock? There's some interesting comments from Undisputed Champion Roman Reigns during his appearance on the Pat McAfee show. Roman told Pat why he's different than anyone else in the WWE. "Everybody's story revolves around me. Cody is one of many trying to tie things up. He was off doing, who cares, a lot of nothing. He saw what we were doing in WWE and he wanted to be a part of that. Hollywood Dwayne saw what we were doing. I'm the only guy that didn't have to go to Hollywood. Hollywood came to me." He also boasted about what makes a match between himself and his cousin The Rock so big. "Because it's two of the greatest superstars to ever do it, we have one who's currently dominating Hollywood, the other who is currently dominating WWE. Why wouldn't you want to put that match together? That's the big gripe with Cody. He's a crybaby." The head of the table told McAfee why he needed the match against The Rock. "For me, that was the end game. Let me make the final statement. Seal the deal. I beat The Rock. Ain't nobody ever questioning what I've ever done here." Roman's remarks suggest he sees himself as the center of the WWE universe and that everyone, including The Rock, is incidental. Don't be surprised to see these remarks come back to bite Roman when he eventually works against The Rock. Next up, Roman Reigns shoots on CM Punk. Not only did Reigns talk about The Rock, but he also mentioned Michael Cole being a dick rider and had some choice words for CM Punk. Reigns talked about him being at the top of the WWE mountain and mentioned, "This is what I wanted my whole life. I'm not one of them people that, once I got there, it wasn't what I expected. I'm not like CM Punk where I got to the top of the mountain. Oh, it's not what I expect. I'm gonna bitch about it. No, once you reach goals, enjoy the dream." What do you think of Roman's comments? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, Kevin Nash is sober. And last but not least, Kevin Nash is looking to improve his health as he stopped drinking alcohol. Big Daddy Cool discussed this on his Click This podcast, saying, "I quit drinking. I think today is week 5. Nash seems to have given up drinking for health reasons, telling listeners he used to drink a bottle of wine before going to bed and that as you get older, there's a chance we continue drinking to get a fatty liver. The fatty liver makes it hard for your body to break down fat. I said F that. Congratulations to Kevin Nash. But there you have it, folks. our look at SmackDown this week, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.